Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Empowering Intuitives Talk Show here on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. And wow, what an amazing time it is to be alive and to be here on this planet at this time. The energies are pumping up. Tonight, we're going to talk about the full moon. And what does that mean? And what can we do to be more empowered to utilize what is around us organically, right? I don't know about you, but I have been being pulled dramatically by spirit to utilize the gifts of nature, right? And the moon is obviously a huge gift. And anybody in healthcare will tell you it's very palpable when a new moon or a full moon are in play. And usually a few days before the full moon and a few days after, you can notice people are so sensitive and not even aware that they're sensitive to the moon energies, right? And I've touched on this before, and I've talked about this for many, many years. But I think it's really important to bring up again, especially right now. So, what do we do? What are some things that we can do to capitalize on this big, powerful moon, right? Well, the moon rules over our subtle, subconscious, and intuitive aspects of ourself. And it waxes and wanes just like our energy waxes and wanes, right? And when we align ourselves to what's going on with the moon cycles, we can capitalize on those energies to help us manifest the things that we want to. It can help us work on the things that are going on. So if you have had a lot of, so far this year, there's been so much coming up for people, even since the pandemic, I guess we could go back. And all of these moons are a great opportunity to help release blockages and let go of things that are no longer serving you, right? So it's just a very powerful way to help you shift what you are shifting emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. So how can we do that? You know, right now, one thing to remember about the moon cycles is each moon has their own special connection, if you will. So this moon that's occurring on April 16th is what they call the pink moon in Libra. And so this is a time to focus on relationships, social connections, finding balance between yourself and others, and your connection with relationships. So it also is about bringing alignment, balance, creativity, inspiration, and expansion. Well, I don't know about you, but for me, this past month has been a lot of things coming up to look at and to let go of in regards to this, in regards to relationship with myself and who I think I am on this earth plane and my divine self. So there's some of these things that have come up. I have gone through a loss recently. So there's that relationship that I'm focusing on. And it's always about, always in relationship with people. I mean, we're around people all the time. It could be your significant other. It could be your children, your grandchildren. It could be your coworkers. It could be, like I said, yourself, your connection. And maybe there's a conflict between your higher self, which is you still in spirit, and your earth plane self that's in this body right now. So this is a great time for all of those things that you have processed, healed, and we can let go of, right? So the great thing about the moon cycle is when the full moon comes up, it's about letting go, right? And letting go of maybe disappointments, maybe letting go of what you would call failures or things didn't work out the way that you wanted. Maybe you're holding grief, or you're holding resentments, or whatever in the negative aspect that you need to let go of. Maybe it was you had huge expectations that you couldn't fill your own shoes, if you will. Like when you think about the moon cycle, think about the new moon as the things you're trying to manifest and you're bringing in, and the full moon is when you're trying to let go. So Last moon cycle, I was working on new beginnings and healing, bringing in new energies. Well, I did. I brought in this new little puppy. But there's always so much that we're doing. And so you have to let go of the things that you need to let go of to make room for the new things, right? Okay. So when we are thinking about things that we can do to empower ourselves, one thing that a lot of people talk about doing is what they call a full moon release ceremony. And I use that term loosely. It's about setting an intention. What I like to do is I sit down, I like to meditate, I like to say a prayer, and I actually write down an intention. I ask for God, my angels, teachers, and guides to come forth, and I ask for them to assist in any way that they feel. And I write this all down like this. And I ask for them because, the divine is always working behind the scenes in ways that we don't even know. And we don't have to for that magic to occur. So I write all of that down, and then I write down the things that I really want to let go of. So I'll give you the example. I was working through the loss, so I was letting go of grief and all of those aspects when you go through a grieving process, right? So I have asked for these things to let go of. Let's heal those emotional things, those in my physical and emotional and spiritual body, and let it go. That's what this moon is about, right? And that's about relationship. Maybe there's other things. So I sit with it and I write it all down on a piece of paper. And when I'm done, I typically like to burn it outside. Maybe I'll have a fire outside, especially in the summertime. But you don't need all of that. You just need. I like to burn it, and as I burn it, I just thank the angels, teachers, and guides, and I thank God for letting these things go and assisting. And it's that simple. It's about setting that intention and letting things go. And then there's other times where I may do what they call moon water. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Moon water, what is it? It is water, drinking water. I use filtered water that you put in a glass jar that has a lid, right? And what I do is I sage the jar first, and then I fill it with distilled water. And as I'm filling it, I'm setting an intention and I focus it on the particular moon. So, as I said, this full moon is about relationship, right? So, for me, I'm setting some intentions around relationships and about harmonious new beginnings and releasing those imbalances. But I'm asking in my moon water for harmonious, I guess is the best way, relationships and relationships with people, with myself, with money, with you can have relationship with anything that you're working on, right? So what you do is as you're filling your jar, you're setting those intentions. And then some people like to put crystals, like quartz crystal is an amplifier. So that helps amplify your water. And then you sit it outside in the full moon overnight. And you let that water infuse with all of those intention. What I like to do is I also write down that intention and I set it underneath my bottle. And I leave it out in the moon overnight to charge. Then the next day, what I do is I charge my moon water, is what they call. And how I do that is I put my hands, I use Reiki, but you can use your hands in intention and just ask God, the angels, teachers, and guides to infuse your water with that intention. And what I do is I close my eyes and I say my intention out loud after I invite the divine to assist. I always invite the divine to assist because they have powers way beyond what I have in my human form, right? So I always ask them to come in. But I'll close my eyes and I'll say my intention for that water. And I start infusing, and I picture like a beautiful silver white light coming through me and out my hands, charging the water. Okay. And I do that until I feel like it's complete. I don't have a specific amount of time that I do it. I just do it till I feel like it's done. And then you have charged moon water. So what do you do with it? So what do you do with this moon water and why is it important? So moon water can be used for so many things. A lot of people that like to sage and clean their house, right? They put some moon water in the corners. You may spray it through your house. You may mix it. I like to put some sage, um, white sage inside like a little spray bottle, and I carry it around with me. So it's moon charged sage water. So when I can't sage or the energy's dense or I'm somewhere where I'm not liking that, I just spray myself, my aura, I spray areas with it. The other things you can do with it, you can drink it. If I'm not feeling well, or if I'm having a lot of strong emotions and I'm processing things, I may drink more moon water because it's just a charged, with my intention. So I think about the intention too. I always put in there about when I charge my water is always about harmony and peace, because I'm always looking for calm, centered, peaceful, loving, harmonious relationship with myself and my environment. So you can use it to water your plants. You can give it to your animals. You can use it any way that you want. You can wash your face with it. You can do a bath, put it in your bath if you really want. You can clean your floor. You can clean your house with it. You know, you can do whatever you want with this in any way that you see fit. Um, I have some friends that are Wiccan. They use it in spell work. I like to do this moon water and then start my gardens with that water. And so I give myself that extra charged moon water as my first watering on my plants. So it just amps the things up a little bit. And like I said, I like to put crystals in mine, but you do not have to do that. And if you do crystals, I'm just going to give you a warning. Make sure that it's crystal that you can put in. Some crystals you cannot put in water and it's not safe to use to drink. Okay. But it's just really, I feel like the charged moon water just adds an extra oomph to the things that you're doing, right? And it's an extra intention. And remember, water is receptive. So it will take on those intentions. And it is just so powerful. When I drink, on my glasses, and you'll see, if you came to my house, you would see that even in my filtration system, I have words. Words are powerful. We don't realize how powerful they are, but they're usually on my glasses. They're on things, infusing that water with love, gratitude, bliss. And I'll never forget one time my niece came to my house and she goes, "What's bliss water?" And I said, "Just drink it. You'll like it. You'll like it." But it was a great opportunity then to have a conversation about this stuff and how powerful it is for you. So remember, water is extremely receptive and it holds the energy and the intention of whatever you imbued it with. So the moon water acts as a psychic sponge, holding that energy, and it can be almost like a talisman for you. You can use it for, like I said, anything that you really want to use it for. If you're not feeling well, that's the best time to drink, to drink this. It will help enhance. So maybe you could set some intentions for your moon water for relationship if you're struggling with your health. Maybe you're going to work on your relationship with your health and you see yourself and you want to always set the intention by visualizing yourself in your highest best form, right? So if you're ill, you picture yourself extremely healthy and that it's healing and healthy in all ways. And you don't have to know all the words to use. Ask the divine to help you. Maybe you go into meditation and they give you the words to put to infuse it. Um, One other thing about this moon cycle and what's going on in right now, there's a lot of planetary storms, if you will. There's so much energy going on around us right now. And I think it's Black Moon Lilith energy that is coming in, but I'm not an astrologer by any means. So if I butcher this, I'm sorry, but I'm just being told there's so much energy hitting the planet right now, and it's all about transformation. This year is another powerful year for us to let go, transform, and find new relationship with everything and person in our lives. So you may find that this is a year where people that have been in your life maybe are leaving your life because they're no longer serving. It's about the old paradigm falling away and making room for the new. And you will find a lot of people waking up. You will find more people open to their own spirituality and their own spiritual path. So finding ways that you can empower yourself. And, that's really the key. We have all the power within inside of us. We don't realize that. But all we have to do is go within to receive this information. I'm just simply here to remind you that you have the power all along. We really, really do. And we need to choose our words specifically. And if you're not into doing the full moon rituals or doing full moon water, that's perfectly fine. This is information that I'm just disseminating. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then it doesn't need to. But pay attention to how you are affected by the moon cycles, because the moon is extremely powerful. Look what it does to the oceans. It really holds a lot of planetary energy, and it affects every aspect of our subtle body. It affects water very powerfully. So maybe you haven't really thought about it until now. So think about it. See how you're being affected. Anybody in healthcare will tell you people's energies change when it comes time. A lot of people get more angry, they get more aggressive, they get short-tempered. People are just more frustrated, usually, not always, but there is usually a shift in their energies. And people are much more emotional. You may find that you're just crying at the drop of a hat, because these are all reasons to show you that the moon is extremely powerful and it's bringing things up for us to look at. And if you are not ready to look at them or heal them, that's okay. But acknowledge the fact that you are being affected. And that is one of the ways that you can take charge of that. So for me, when I am extremely sensitive to the moon cycles, and so this is a time where we talked about this in crystals. I wear all my moonstones, right? This is a very powerful time. And when the energies are amped up even higher, it can intensify that. So if that is you, if you have moonstone, keep it handy. It may really help you. Oh, sorry. But try the moon water. Maybe try a full moon. I like to play the I wonder game on all of these things. So if this is new information for you, play the I wonder game. Take advantage of the information that I gave you tonight and play with it. Create a full moon ceremony and see what happens over the next month until the next full moon. Have you really let go of the things that you wanted to let go of? Is it like a bloomin' onion where it's a little layer that you did and maybe you feel a little lighter? Well, then how wonderful was that, right? play with the moon water and see. I'll tell you what, it makes my plants grow wonderful when I use the moon water on them. And I do it like once a week. I don't use it every day with them. I might use it once a week. I might forget for a couple weeks, but I try to utilize that. And you can make as much or as little as you want. You can do whatever you want with it, whatever you feel called to do. So, the other thing I wanted to tell you about if you wanted to use the crystals is clear quartz is a good one and rose quartz. Both of those are really good. Clear quartz will amplify your water. Rose quartz helps put a heart center. So maybe if you're working on relationships, rose is a very powerful, loving, works in your heart chakra. So maybe you want to use rose quartz. I suggest tumble stones instead of rough stones if you're going to put them in your water and you're going to drink those. Yeah, that's what I want to say about that. And the other thing about I got to read this about it's a great time with this pink moon to expect harmonious new beginnings, time for good financial and collaborative matters, paying off debts, buying homes, new partnerships and goals. Well, how wonderful is that as we move into spring, right? Aren't we bringing in new energies as we let the old go? Like one door closes, another one opens. That's what we're doing right now. Let go of the things that you really need to let go of. And it's this full moon marks the first of the new astrological year and the final moon cycle before the coming eclipse season. Oh boy. Which can bring some chaos. So this is the calm before the storm of the eclipses. And like I had said earlier, Spirit has told me that this is going to be a very powerful year for us to transcend. We're transforming. Last year was huge transformation. We're still in that transformation energy, and then it's about transcending all of this. So it kind of makes sense for some of the big things that have been going on. Now we have that war going on. There may be some financial instabilities coming this year. There's so many transformative things that are occurring. So do what you can do with the things that are around you. The moon is here for us. Take advantage of the cycles to help yourself. And when you come into the new moon, then it's about what are you trying to manifest and bring in. So there's lots of really cool ways that you can let go of what you need to, setting positive intention with the power of the moon and utilizing it every day in one way or another. So I know a lot of people give a pushback where they feel like they don't have the tools. Maybe they don't have a lot of financial assistance to be buying crystals and doing all of this. And you don't need any of that. Just water and glass. I suggest glass so it's clear and you can see through it when you're doing this. But there's so much that you can take advantage of right in your backyard. Always the power of the moon and the sun. So I hope that you guys found that very helpful. The other thing that they wanted to talk about now is trying to simplify what you're putting in your body and how you're doing things. And that was one thing that came up with relationship. Spirit wanted to just make sure that we talked about that is, in the new year, a lot of people talk about New Year's resolution. I want to lose weight and I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to exercise. But right now there's a big emphasis on removing toxins from the body, Remy wants to be here. Sorry. Removing toxins, going back to basics and learning how to cultivate what's in front of you. Like right now in the Northeast in the United States, a lot of us have something called dead nettle, which is growing in your backyard. So, it's plant medicines, going back to the natural way of doing things instead of relying on big pharma for things and going back to canning and trying to eat as clean and lean as you can versus buying a lot of processed foods. So, again, utilizing what is around you can be free, and you can make free healing medicines. I use that term loosely, medicine, but it's called plant medicine, or more homeopathic kind of remedies, or whatever verbiage you would like to use. But there's so much that you can take advantage of as well. And this is a powerful time because this is relationship. So over the next, we have a couple days here, sit down, try to go within and ask spirit to assist you in figuring out, what relationships are you working on right now? Where are you struggling? Where do you need to let go of blockages? And one thing around the diet and the simplicity of things, a lot of people have blockages from just being conditioned, growing up eating unhealthy, and or being rewarded with sweets. Oh, did you have a bad day? And then giving a lot of processed junk food, especially here in the United States. That seemed to be the trend when I was growing up, and even worse now than when I was growing up. So you have to look at, how are we being conditioned? The quality of the food, the standards in the United States versus other places is very different. So we have to start to be more awakened to what's really going on in the relationships of those things. So sit with the spirit for the next couple of days and see what relationships you're working on and working through, and where you have blockages, where you have resistance, and think about how you can let those go. Try either the full moon ceremony and or the moon water to help assist you in becoming the ultimate highest version of yourself. Well, I hope that helps you guys, and it's been a pleasure, and I will see you guys next week. Namaste.